Welcome to my presentation on Voronoi patterns. It all started with a field trip to the Neil Balkwill to view an art exhibit. The question from 4-year-old Isaiah was, how do the bees know how to make hexagons? The answer is that the bees did the math. It turns out that the honeycomb is about 30% wax and 70% space for storing honey or raising baby bees. If the honeycomb was round instead of hexagon, it would have 5% less room. Another reason that honeycomb is a hexagon shape is that it uses less wax than a solid wall or other type of interlocking shape like a triangle or a square. Those are smart bees. They use the Voronoi pattern, which is more efficient and makes more room for honey. But a honeycomb is only one example of a Voronoi pattern. And they are not always hexagon. A Voronoi diagram can be imagined as a map where the edges of each cell are the same distance to a specific point on the map. Each cell contains one point or seed inside of it, and from that seed it is determined the regions in the map. What do these pictures have in common? The spots on a giraffe, the wing of a dragonfly,
the cracks in the mud. They are all examples of Voronoi patterns.
We should introduce Voronoi patterns in the classroom for students who prefer a visual learning style, children that are very interested in animals, such as bees, like my son Isaiah, and they can even help with geographical literacy. I'd start by drawing Voronoi patterns either outdoors by scattering pebbles, which would represent the seeds, or in the classroom on a piece of paper. So you choose your dots or your seeds or stones, and then you would connect them with a straight line. Next, you would create a perpendicular bisector of the lines, find the vertex, erase the rest of the perpendicular lines, and then you'd create your cells.
Okay, so if your line is 8 centimeters long, where are you going to put your dot that's the middle of your line? You're going to put it at the number 4.
Make a dot. Can I do it?
Yeah, we're finding the perpendicular line. So after we find the middle of our line, we use a protractor and make sure that the line is at 90 degrees. I would also create a word wall so that we could practice the new vocabulary while we draw our Voronoi patterns. That's called, what is that called, Isaiah?
The middle.
The middle is called the equidistance. Here is the finished Voronoi pattern. We erased the orange lines and we're left with the cells.
So some of the outcomes in grade 7 math 7.3 are identify and describe examples of parallel line segments, perpendicular line segments, perpendicular bisectors, and angle bisectors in the environment. Identify with justification line segments in a diagram that are parallel or perpendicular. Draw a line segment perpendicular to another line segment and explain why they are perpendicular. Draw the perpendicular bisector of a line segment using more than one method and verify the construction.
And here are my references. Thank you for watching.